What business is Snapdeal into?
So most people would think that we are an e-commerce company. I actually don't agree. We are more of a platform that enables e-commerce for others, whether for sellers to list their products to sell those products, or for buyers to come and buy those products. And then we intermediate things like logistics, customer support, payments to make this a more seamless transaction. But we are not really in the business of owning something and then deciding what is the price of that product and taking ownership of that product before we sell it ahead. So we continue to be a pure marketplace where 100% of the products that are sold are actually sold by sellers and not a single product is sold by us. Our view is that's probably the right business model for India, which even our growth trajectory is demonstrating, where we've grown about 6 to 7 times year on year. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is there's acute fragmentation both on the supply side and the demand side in India, especially on the supply side. And a marketplace platform seamlessly aggregates that fragmented supply and offers it to the demand that exists in the 4,000 or 5,000 towns and cities.
You guys were one of the first ones to start up the marketplace model. Yeah. How has that evolved from a behavior point of view, from a supplier point of view?
So I think if I zoom out, right, at a macro level, e-commerce in the US is more about shopping.
Yeah.
Right. E-commerce in India is more about lifestyle. It's more about enhancing your lifestyle as a seller or a buyer. E-commerce in the US has the objective of taking businesses online.
Yeah.
In India, the objective in the long run is going to be demand generation, job creation. Mm-hmm. Right. Think of e-commerce in the US more like dessert, because even after 18 years, only 8 to 9% of retail in the US is e-commerce. Right. In India, e-commerce is actually going to be the main course. My sense is that probably 30% of total retail in India will be over e-commerce or digital commerce over the next 15, 20 years. Clearly, consumers are buying a lot more than they used to. Right? It was interest. So I always, for me, a barometer, whenever I go to a conference, I'll always ask people how many people transact on Snapdeal. And I used to see that most of these conferences tend to have slightly older people, and a few of them would raise their hands, but not like the whole room.
Right.
And over a period of time, I started getting happy about that, because I realized that if you want to build a really large business in India, there are two things you have to keep in mind. One, you have to go after the youth, right? You have to get the youth on your side. 40% of India is below the age of 20, yeah. Right? And 65% of India is below the age of 35.
Yeah.
And by 2020, median age in India will be 29 versus 37 for China and 48 for Japan. So you want to cater to that market, right? And I think our business, given that we stand for certainty of availability at best prices, provides a great USP to consumers to come and shop with us. Now, the other thing which is very important in terms of trends, right? So when e-commerce started in India, everyone was really focused on, hey, this guy who goes to this fancy mall, that's my e-commerce buyer. I don't think that's the case. If you want to build a really large company in India, you have to cater to middle India. I go as far as saying that the same reason why a Rowdy Rathore or a Chennai Express does hundreds of crores in sales, and a semi-cerebral movie does 5 crores of sales.
Yeah, the Grand Masti versus
correct.
The Madras Cafe.
Right, and it's the same reason why Snapdeal's grown this fast without investing an incredible amount of money into the business. Because we are very focused on middle India. Doesn't mean the guys who shop in malls don't shop with us. But middle India, which is not the A++ demographic, middle India is shopping for core products online now in India.
So why are they shopping online?
Because of the lack of access they have through offline. Mm-hmm. Right? The top sliver of India, socio-economic wise, has a lot of money, which buys them a lot of time. As a result, for their core shopping, they still want an experience. And it's more a nice to have for them as a result to shop online. Whereas for middle India, it's a need to have. They need to buy their core products or core needs online.
Where do you see the scale, the revenue scale? Do you see e-commerce companies talking profitability in near future?
Sure. So, I mean, if you look at business models around the world, right, there is of course Alibaba, which over the last few years, and this year Alibaba will do over $200 billion in GMV, and their GMV will be larger than all North American e-commerce companies put together, including Amazon and eBay. That's how large they've become in such a short period of time. Interestingly, a significant Alibaba investor recently, someone I respect a lot, mentioned to us that they saw Jack Ma build out Alibaba, and they see the same story in Snapdeal, where we are very missionary about building a high quality, pure marketplace. The same way Jack Ma did, where everyone else was doing inventory in their business in that country, and then slowly everyone else tried to do marketplace also. There are a lot of companies in India who are of course trying to build the Amazon of India or the Zappos of India, etc. But if you zoom out, there are zero profitable inventory-led e-commerce companies in the world. The largest and the most profitable e-commerce companies in the world are all marketplaces, whether it's Mercado Libre in Latin America, Rakuten in Japan, Alibaba in China, and a few other examples, even eBay globally. Our goal is very simple. We want to build a really high quality #1 marketplace in India, and because of the capital efficiency of this business model, we have high degree of confidence that within a year we will actually be the first billion-dollar profitable e-commerce company. We are right now at about half that size, and we've grown 6 times since last year. So a fair reason to believe that over the next 12 months we can at least double, and our fixed costs have stayed flat year on year, largely attributed to the business model and the execution of the team. That I know that given that we have to become a profitable company, you need non-linear growth with cost.
Right.
If your cost and revenue curves are parallel, you'll never break even. We have those divergent curves in our business already. So if we just fast forward the trajectory to 12 months, I'm very confident, both from a size and profitability, we will get to where we need to get to.
Interesting. Pretty much a lot of these decisions are still led by deals. And cheap price, right?
Sure.
I mean, so that has been the biggest force for consumers to buy online. So